friend. I'm Jo Gillan, and welcome to the Energized Hairdresser, your hype girl and certified health coach, where we help stylists go from exhausted to energized through real talk, wellness, mindset, and life beyond the chair. You're here, hang on, and let's rise above the chaos and enjoy our lives. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. Welcome to the second episode of the Energized Hairdresser. Today we're going to talk about the hidden cost of skipping lunch behind the chair. I know. So let's be honest. How many times have you told yourself, I'll eat after my next client, or I'll eat while they're processing, and suddenly it's 4 o'clock and you haven't had anything? Or you've had coffee, lots of coffee, a granola bar, maybe you had lunch and it's, you're doing like an evening shift. The evening shifts would always get me, right? It's one thing to have lunch. So when I say like the hidden cost of skipping lunch, I'm talking like if you're working a 6-hour day or more, you got to eat in that time frame. So if that sounds familiar, do not worry. We've all been there. Okay. I've been there more times than I can count. And it's a thing, right? It's an issue that we got to kind of work through. We tell ourselves it's fine. We're saving time. We don't have time to eat. We're going to stay productive. Maybe it's like a badge of honor, but here's the truth. Skipping meals is not helpful. It doesn't make you any more efficient. And in fact, it's going to drain your energy. It's going to cloud your focus and honestly cost you money, right? If you are so hungry at the end of your appointment, and we're probably like doing all of it. In my experience, I have greeted my client. I've done their hair. We have the consultation, done their hair. And then we do the service, and then I'm checking you out, right? So if you're so hungry and you're like, okay, Becky, it's $145. And then she leaves and you were just like, give me food right now. And then as she's out the door, you're like, shoot, I totally did a K18 treatment on her. And that's $15. So let's just say that happens twice a week. All right, 15 times, that's 30. Times 4, 120. Right? And then I think that's $1,444 a year. By 2 times a week, you don't charge somebody something and you're losing out, like $15 treatment. Okay. I don't know why it's October and there's flies in my house. It's unacceptable. Okay. So today we're going to dive into really what happens when you skip lunch behind the chair, or skip a meal, if we're going to give it specific. Okay. And I know I just said earlier, if you're at the salon more than 6 hours, let's back it up. If you're at the salon more than 4 hours, you need to eat something, whether it's a tiny little snack or a meal, you need to eat something. All right. So we're going to talk about what this does to your nervous system, why your nervous system needs steady fuel, okay, how stress and blood sugar are connected, and some simple ways to start fueling yourself first, because that is my mission, to help you fuel yourself first. Okay. So here's the thing. You think you're saving time by skipping meals, but really it's costing you money, energy, focus, creativity. We're a whole body. We gotta look at ourselves holistically, okay? So we're gonna paint a picture. It's my favorite part. You start the day with coffee, which I do. I start my day with coffee, and that fills you up. Maybe you're living the dream right now and you're doing the thing, right? A little semaglutide, a little trizepatide, no judgment. I'm here for it. But if you have coffee all day or all morning, and then it's probably, maybe you start work at 10, right? I would let 10 to 7 when I was starting out was my favorite. And so you don't eat, right? Then you kind of start working, and then you're like, well, I got somebody from 10 to noon, and then I'll eat then, or whatever, work through your lunch break. Maybe you grab an energy drink. If you're feeling bold, you tell yourself, I'll grab something between my clients. But then the day takes off, and before you know it, you're on your 5th client, your hands are shaking, and you haven't had water since 9 a.m. I see you. Okay, I understand. So then you grab a piece of chocolate from your color bar to take the edge off, or whatever it is, right? You kind of scavenge for something because we're mixing color. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I got to mix my color. And then when you finally do get home, or you finally do get to eat, you crash and burn, right? How many of us have left the salon and you're just zombie, do anything because I'm so tired? But that's a symptom. That's not your personality. I mean, absolutely, you're going to be tired after a work day. We've had a lot of conversations, but that's a symptom of what's going on in your body. Okay? Because it's just trying to survive. And I get it. I've been there. I lived my life like that. And now I have an autoimmune disease that I have to recover from, okay? That I'll probably always have. So listen, all right? This giant eyeball didn't come from nowhere. I wasn't born like this, okay? What I did to my body is here. Okay, so I remember lots of stories where I've just like put food on the back burner. And it was really when I started working on extensions. When I started doing extensions in 18, I've done a lot. I've spent a lot of money to do extensions to realize I don't really like doing extensions. Follow along if you understand that, But like, you're learning this new skill, so you're slow and clumsy anyway. And the method that I was originally trained in was like, you colored the wefts, so then you got the hair colored, and then while that's coloring, you're going to do the color of the extensions. And I'm charging more money than I've ever charged before. And then what am I supposed to eat? Because I felt like if I stopped working, then I was gonna it's gonna take even longer, right? You're like, oh my gosh, don't mess this up. But then you power through, right? But then you're mentally foggy. You forget to charge all the things. And I just realized I am not showing up as my best self. How many times as a hairdresser have you I'm gonna start this diet, I'm gonna do this thing, only to realize that your work doesn't support it? We don't work like a regular 9 to 5 where you get you build in your lunch break. We just kind of work. So it just was man, I have these goals for myself, but then I get to work and it's I forget them. So we're going to change that. Okay. Again, I mentioned when you leave the salon and you are just a zombie, that's a symptom. That isn't what you're supposed to be like. Okay. So that is the moment that everything changed. I was okay, I started learning about how our bodies respond to stress. That was my pivotal moment. It was I'm going to become a health coach because I want to help hairdressers not live like this, right? And that was in 2019. So that was a long time ago. And it's taken a long time to build these habits. Habit change doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so what's actually going on in our body? Okay, so the science. Here's what's happening behind the scenes because our bodies are a whole system. I love it. When you skip meals, your body goes into a stressed state. And the best way to mitigate stress is to balance your blood sugar. That's the simplest terms, okay? So I like to know the why. It's my favorite thing. So I'm going to share it with you because we're listening. Your brain is specifically, the hypothalamus can trigger your central nervous system. This is where your body thinks it's in danger, your fight or flight. So when we're stressed, so hunger equals stress. Stress can mean a lot of things, but one of the simplest ways to mitigate stress is to balance your blood sugar. So don't get super hungry. Your heart rate speeds up, your blood pressure rises, cortisol, adrenaline flood your system. All right, those hormones, hormones are, a buzzword right now. I gotta get my hormones checked. Well, cortisol and adrenaline are hormones. Leptin, ghrelin, all these things are hormones. Blood flow moves away from your stomach and into your arms and legs. And because your body thinks it needs to run, it's not going to digest. Okay. And I don't know if I was practicing this statement or I already said it, but so that whole sentence I said there is another chunk of habit change that we don't even need to, we can't get into it right now. So if you are eating and you have some parts of your body that are upset, the rate in which we eat is also a problem, So that's a whole other podcast episode. So this is your body stuck in fight or flight mode, right? And it goes back to the concept of if there's a bear, run, my God, run, there's a bear. We would run, right? You've all heard this statement. But our bodies, even in this modern society that we live in, still cannot determine, oh my gosh, run, there's a bear, and holy cow, freaking Brenda's hair is so thick that how am I supposed to do this? What am I supposed to do with this thickness? Which is a problem. Too thin, it's a problem, okay? So think of your nervous system like a color formula. When you're balanced, everything, my gosh, that's so cheesy, but I'm here for it. When you're balanced, everything processes beautifully. That virgin hair. But when you're under stress, too much developer, not enough tone, it doesn't turn out right. That's what happens to your body when it's stressed and underfed. Anyway, so if this is resonating, I really want to know about it because this was a game changer when I learned about eating. Okay. So when I said earlier, like you were all about mitigating stress, and the easiest way to do that is to balance your blood sugar. Okay. So the blood sugar connection. When we skip meals, when we have too much coffee, when we eat really quickly, when we eat the wrong types of foods, like our blood sugar drops or it drops. And then the wrong type of foods, it can spike real quick. That's right. Like if you shovel a donut in your face really quickly and then you're fine for a second and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Okay. Your brain panics, so it releases more cortisol to bring your blood sugar back up. And then if it's like the wrong combination of food, then we get insulin resistance. That cortisol makes you crave quick carbs, sugar, caffeine, anything to give you quick energy. So you grab some coffee, you grab some candy, you grab that Alani, and then the roller coaster continues all over again. I say, as a recovering sugar carbohydrate addict, that like, I hate that I'm eating like this, but I can't stop eating like this. So over time, that up and down pattern messes with your hormones, your focus, your mood, your metabolism, everything. And we're doing it in our workday. We're not building it in. Okay. So over time, unbalanced blood sugar equals burnout. Okay. So why protein and hydration are game changers is protein's a big buzzword. I'm going to do a whole podcast on protein. Okay. But you got to even before we get into the protein, how do we stabilize this? Like consistent meal times sounds so simple, right? Like when I first started learning, so consistent meal times is a way to mitigate stress. And the way to mitigate stress is to balance your blood sugar. So protein gives your body steady energy. It keeps you fuller longer. It stabilizes your blood sugar. It helps you reduce stress. But if that's even too much, like, oh shoot, now I got to do protein, which is helpful. But like I'm a small increments gal. When you were starting out, like with this concept to go from zero eating to like, now I got to schedule this. Like, what do you think I am? Or I don't have time. Small snacks, having snacks on hand. We're going to get into it. I'm going to give you a whole thing. Okay. So hydration keeps your brain sharp. It keeps you focused. So it's like protein, water. Duh. So sexy. But I mean, any fitness guru is going to tell you, like, when you get into it, it's literally like, this is what your body needs. I have my own coach, right? And I'm like, well, I'm just doing the boring things. It's kind of a running joke now, but I'm here for it. So that's what we need, right? Like adding this into your routine is going to like help. So, having stylist friendly snacks on hand, a protein shake, Greek yogurt cups, rice cake with almond butter, like a little turkey roll up with some cheese or like a tuna packet, something that like, even though it's not perfect, like in a different episode, I'll give you like the ideal scenario of when we're supposed to eat or how we're supposed to eat. But that's probably what home time is for. This is where like meeting you where you are. And, trail nuts, like mixed nuts, or I love those balance breaks, like little things like that. Having that on hand is a very good and simple way to just get bits of protein in, because a little bit's better than nothing, right? But really, when it comes down to it, you just have to schedule it. Like I use Gloss Genius. And I work in my house, right? This is welcome to my home. But I generally work from like 1 to 5 at this stage in my career. And even in that time frame, because if I eat at noon with my kids, then I have to know that around 3:30, I'm probably going to be hungry. So I will write in, even if like Susie's hair colors processing, I'll put in a block, eat food. And that's exactly how I started, going from not eating to eating. I would just write in eat food, like double processing, or while that color's processing, I would put it in there, because otherwise you're not going to do it. So this is like, how is this going to affect your business? I mean, because sometimes people won't listen about health, but we'll listen about business. When you're underfed, you're underfueled, your brain's not working, it's foggy, you're more forgetful, you're less creative, way more reactive, and that means lost opportunities. So I said earlier, $15 treatment here and there, you forgot to pre-book a client, or like even just you're so hungry you don't want to take photos, right? So you like just say you did this balayage and you loved it, but you're like, get the heck out of here. I need to eat right now. So by building time to eat into your workday is huge. So again, reiterating, let's do the math. $15 twice a week, that's $120 a month. That's $1,440 a year just because your brain didn't have energy to think clearly. So eating isn't about being lazy. It's about leadership. Eating isn't about I don't have time. It's about I can't afford not to. Eating isn't about being lazy. It's just about your basic human need. And I know that sounds so silly, but like we're designed to eat food. And if you're like 20 and young and youthful, this might apply differently to you, but I'm talking to hairdressers who are like 29 to 45 or more. Like at some point in time, something changes in your body and you're like, shoot, I cannot do that anymore. Okay? So your energy, like it's your persona, it's who you are. Clients can feel it. And when you're hungry, you're moodier, you're less, like you're more temperamental, like things kind of get under your skin. So it's a simple fix, but it takes some effort. So how do you fit this into your schedule? I hear it. I don't have time to eat. I literally was just looking at a TikTok yesterday because right now I'm trying to grow my awareness, right? So I'm like commenting on TikToks, and if you've seen me on there, like, hey, let's be friends. But this gal was like, right now it's my, what is it? Like there's a trend. It's like my list, like the list of things that like offended them or something. And one, like a gal just was like, no lunch break. And I'm like, but you got to eat. She's like, I don't have time. Cause it might take you an hour to foil. And if you've only booked out 3 hours, so it's like, maybe there's another episode of like why our service times are ruining our health. But listen, like even if you have 5 minutes, like 5 minutes to just crouch in the color room and like eat something and drink some water is going to be huge. You just got to plan it. You got to you just got to plan it. Personal block, eat 15 minutes every 4 hours. That's it. It's not sexy. It's not a whole new system. It's not like incredibly profound. It is a basic human need, After about 4 hours between meals, our blood sugar starts to crash. Okay. We want that steady energy because then if you're flooding it with carbs, if you're flooding it with that sugar, then it's going to skyrocket and then it's going to crash even more. Right. So we don't want that. We live by our schedule, and this is like in my Sunday night routine, like when am I going to eat, right? You can eat between clients, you can eat during that processing time, you can eat while you're mixing color. Like it is okay to step away from your people and like eat something. They want you to eat too. They want you to feel nourished and balanced. Like, of course they're going to say, go eat. How is this resonating? How are we feeling about this? Okay. So we could bust a few myths. Like I just kind of said, like I hear all the time, I don't have time to eat. Yeah, you do. You just got to plan it. I'll feel better. If I eat, I feel tired. Well, you feel tired because you're running on adrenaline, right? You're probably shoveling that food in there. You're probably taking that Chipotle and wolfing it down in 10 minutes. And that's a whole other podcast on food and how we eat it. When I learned that, like we really should take 20 minutes to eat. Because, the why, no one cares. Digestion really starts in the saliva. There's enzymes in our saliva that start to break it down. We gotta chew it so then our body can get all the nutrients out of it. So like if you feel tired after you eat, maybe we ate too fast, maybe we're not eating the right combination of macronutrients, whatever, right? That's like one-on-one work that I do versus like broad. If you eat when you're hungry, by the time you feel hunger, your body's already in stress mode. Okay. So food isn't the problem. Food is the solution, especially behind the chair. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the last time in the salon, and when was the last time like you actually sat down to eat something? I'm not even talking about like food quality, which we'll go into. I'm talking about just food, Did you skip breakfast? Did you replace lunch with coffee? Did you just kind of totally forget about it? So then you're ordering the entire menu and door dashing it. Did you just forget your lunch? Man, when I forgot my lunch and I worked in my tiny town, there was no DoorDash. So that was awesome. Or I like was so dependent on delivery. Like Jimmy John's is like the only place in my town that would deliver. And I was like, I don't freaking want Jimmy John's. Like Jimmy John's was like air or Chinese food. You know, you'd eat it and like 30 seconds later, like, did I eat anything? It's probably that MSG. So how do you feel around 3 p.m.? How do you feel? Do you crash? Is there brain fog? You know, that's your body's way of talking. All right. Saying, I need fuel. Fuel me. But not another coffee. Right. And I want you to listen to your body. Like, listen to your body. Tap into how you feel. You know, this episode's going to air around holiday season. We're going to be busy. And I don't want you to go through another holiday season feeling like garbage, you know? So this is your challenge. Feel yourself first challenge. Okay, this week I want you to pick 2 work days in your schedule, and I want you to block one 15-minute block to eat, and then decide ahead of time what you'll eat. You could do something simple like a protein shake. I'm a big fan of like the Fairlife milk. I'm sure that can be everywhere. And then a scoop of protein powder, right? I put the milk in a glass jar, got a little shaker ball, put the protein powder, and then like that's 35 grams. Well, 30, whatever. It's close enough, right? Like a wrap, leftovers for dinner, something. And then pay attention. How's your mood? How's your focus? How's your patience? How's your demeanor? You know, how's your relationship with the person, right? And then I want you to tag me at the Energized Hairdresser and tell me how it goes, because I love seeing your take on getting your energy back, right? Okay, so that was a lot. Gosh, let's kind of wrap it up here. So skipping meals doesn't save you time. It drains your energy. It drains your creativity and income. You know, when you give your body a steady fuel, you're telling your nervous system like you're safe. And when your body feels safe, everything works better. Your mood, your focus, literally everything. Okay, your digestion, your creativity. Fueling yourself first is not selfish. It's smart. It's professional. And what's gonna make your craft sustainable, okay? So this week I want to encourage you, eat lunch, drink water, take that break, okay? Build it in. Your clients will feel the difference and so will you, all right? So you deserve to feel as good as the hair that you create, okay? And then we're going to, so if this episode hit home, share it with your stylist bestie who also has maybe been doing this. Don't forget to subscribe to the Energized Hairdresser podcast so you don't miss our next episode. Next week, we're talking about how to survive the holidays, because the holidays are here and I want you to keep that energy up, because really the whole point of this is like hairdressing is your job. Hairdressing isn't your life. And I want you to have enough energy and stamina to go live your life. Like, that's why we do this, right? We love it. Yeah, it's great. But it's our craft. It's not our whole entire persona. So when you get to fuel yourself first, you're going to have enough energy to go live your life. And I'm here for that. So I hope this resonated with you. Come follow me. Let's hang out on social media. And I look forward to our next episode. So enjoy your day. Hey, friend, before you go, I just wanted to pop on here and say, come join us inside the Energized Hairdresser Collective. It's a community on Facebook where we take these conversations deeper and connect with other stylists working on their health, their mindset, and their habits. So I'd love to have you. It's a totally free community. Jump on over there and then we'll learn more. I can learn more about you. You can ask me questions. It's great. I can't wait to see you there.